Oh, hi everybody. This is Marshall Studios Forever Productions here. Marshall Studios Forever Productions is taped in front of a live audience tonight, everybody. Tonight's video, what I'm going to be doing tonight is I'm going to be talking about my vacuums I mostly grew up having during my times. My favorite vintage vacuums I really do like to have in my collection are mostly the wind tunnel self-propelled machines, and mostly the Hoover wind tunnel self-propelled machines, like mostly from the late 90s and the early mid-2000s, are made in the USA. And I noticed that I mostly grew up with older vacuums because they got more suction, more powerful suction, because they are more durable. And I love the ones that are made in the USA, made in Korea, made in Mexico, and Japan. And mostly made more durable. Nothing made in China. I don't buy things that are made in China because I don't want to buy something was made in China because they're not durable. Things made in China are not durable enough. They break easily. Like, I used to own a Hoover Wind Tunnel T-Series, and I used to have a Hoover Wind Tunnel Whole House upright vacuum cleaner, and they were not durable in times. And I used to own a Shark Navigator lift-away upright vacuum cleaner. That was not durable enough, and I noticed that their motors get really, really shortened out, and the motor the outlets inside on the things are made in China vacuums would be the Shark, and the Bissell pet hair eraser has those type of problems. Like, they get clogged up really easily, and the filters get clogged easily, and I have to clean them out billions of times. I have to do that with the newer projects. Yeah, with the newer machines, with the modern Dirt Devils, with the newer bagless Bissell Helix. I'm not really a huge fan of the Helix in the pet hair eraser machines, because those machines are made in China. They get durable. They are not durable in times. And I noticed that my camera's okay. It's pretty good. It's all good. I noticed that I love having vacuum cleaners in my collection because I love older ones that are made in the USA, and I love older machines that are made more durable and mostly made durable, more powerful, more going on forever. Like, I love Kirby's because Kirby vacuums do last for a very long time, because I love Kirby's, and I mostly grew up with older vintage Bissells, like from the 90s, or mostly from the 90s. And I noticed that growing up with Bissell bagged machines, because these are the ones that are mostly related to Hoover Elite styles. Like this vacuum right here, I really noticed that I added some extension cords to it because it will do a lot better to do. And I noticed that these are really good vacuum cleaners to keep. Like this one right here was made in 1998, and it was manufactured in the USA in Michigan, and this was been made by Ryobi and Singer, because I noticed that these are the older machines. They don't really make these type of machines anymore like that. And also, you guys, there is a 10 amp version to this machine. There is a dark royal blue Bissell. Was made in the year by 1999. Was a blue power partner. It's the one was made in 1997 or in 98. And I noticed that they don't really make those type of machines anymore. And I noticed that these are one of my favorite vacuum cleaners in times. And I really kind of grew up having these before. And my grandma used to have one of these machines. And mostly my Uncle Brent used to have one of these vacuums during in the 90s. And I noticed that he used to have that vacuum cleaner. He had a bright red Bissell power partner before. And I noticed that this is the vacuum cleaner my uncle used to have. He actually used it for his Techniclean service to vacuum buildings, and I noticed that he used to have a black Bissell microlock, and in mostly a power partner series he used to own. And he used to own a couple of these, and I think he had 13 of these machines before. Like, he mostly had the power partner and the microlock in this upright vacuum cleaner brand he used to have. And I noticed he had a whole bunch of vacuum cleaners in his barn before. He had a lot of vacuums in his barn, and I noticed that he used to own he used to have a lot of them in there, but when the year by 2005, he got rid of them because, and I noticed that he got rid of so many vacuums before, and I wish I can keep them, but he might took them to his building, or he used to have a lot of vacuums in his building before, and he used to have the soft bag versions and the Eureka, the Boss Plus, and he mostly had Hoovers from the 80s, and I noticed that he used to have a vacuum cleaner like this one here, and he mostly had it in a black version, a blue version. He had so many of these machines before. And yeah, he did. and he had a lot of vacuum cleaners throughout his life. He had 14 and 20 of them during his times, and in my opinions, he might have had 40 of them a long time ago, and he had 40 vacuums during his times, and he mostly keeps them in the barn, and he kept a bunch of them in the barn, and I just remembered he showed me a lot of vacuum cleaners when I was about 5 years old in kindergarten. When this was back in 2004 at the time when his house was getting remodeled and being built at the time, and I just noticed that he actually did built this bedroom during in the 2000s. This used to be, it used to belong to somebody else at times, but I noticed that I think my uncle has a lot of vacuum cleaners. He has, and I think he's still got a lot of them, and he has a lot of them in his barn. And I noticed that he might throw some of them away. He might had done that in the past. And, like, he got rid of a lot of them before, in his 40s at the time, in the 2000s. And I noticed that he had a whole lot of vacuum cleaners, and I noticed that this is one of my favorite machines right here. And also, my uncle had a whole lot of vacuum cleaners in his barn before, and I remember coming here for the second time in Arcadia. It was back in 2004,